Is it seriously worth paying $1,000 or more to inspect your new construction home? I mean, the super is overseeing the trades. The trades are doing the same job. They are specialists at the same thing. That's all they do every day, day in and day out. The municipality where you're building your home has inspectors who come in and inspect the process and the work. The house is, of course, being built with all new materials. Ding, ding. That's a huge reason why we're buying a new construction home. So this house should be nearly perfect, right? Hey, everybody. It's Alyson with Live South Denver, your real estate strategist and realtor for the South Denver area. My quick, fast, absolute answer is yes, you should be paying for your own third-party inspections on your new build home. Sometimes these homes are built so well, you want to go around and shake the hand of every person involved. You nearly want to hug the super. You want to go find every framer, person who did the roof, the guys on the electrical team, the person who put in the HVAC, the plumbing squad, and you just want to thank them for how well this house was built. Other times, you want to use your hands in different ways on the crews who may have built your home, because after you have an inspection team in and you see some of the things that went on, or even just lay your own eyes on the house, you are thinking, does anybody even care about the work that they do? Sometimes I don't have believers when it comes to why do we need to spend the money on inspections. So today I'm going to share with you just a very, very small sampling of some of the things that inspectors have found on new construction homes that I have helped my clients purchase. So let's jump in. I'm going to share my screen and some of these findings, and I look forward to hearing what you all think about this. All right, first one up, we are looking at something that's really simple that some of you might catch. However, this is the fine details of painting. We are on the hidden nooks, the hidden crannies close to the ground, places where many of us aren't going to get on our hands and knees and look. It's fantastic to have the inspector's fine, detailed eye looking for some of these things. Next up, we are starting with siding. This is another aspect of the waterproofing. In addition to the paint that needs to go on the siding, we are looking at how it was installed. So for this particular home, this builder didn't really follow any of the rules related to the siding installation, so that if there had been an issue with the siding, with waterproofing, with water intrusion on the home, and then the buyer went back to the builder and said, hey, something's going on, the builder, had they gone back to the siding company for warranty claims, that would have been voided. So this particular house was a real battle between the inspector's knowledge and the builder not wanting to address it, and the buyer being like, I feel stuck in the middle. So in this case, the inspector actually went all the way up to the VP, the building manager, had them pull out the warranty book, and they came in and they did some things to fix this so that everybody was protected in this. The builder didn't care, but really the buyer. All right, the next one up, we are again looking at siding. When I'm on a walkthrough with you, it is common for me to say, hey, builder, I would like you to address some of these nails, the ones that are sticking out, the ones that are overdriven. They love to roll their eyes. They love to pretend I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm doing that to protect you from maintenance that does not need to happen in the time frame that it will if we leave a lot of overdriven or underdriven nails. So here, the inspector is calling this out, particularly when it's egregious and there's a lot of it going on at the house. Not every nail gets driven perfectly. I totally recognize that. But when we have it all over, it is just trouble waiting to happen. All right, so far so simple. Let's see what we have next. This is detail stuff. All right, my eyes are not crawling over every little bit of grout and infill on stone and brick, but the inspectors do a really good job of finding the places where the guys who did the stacked stone, the stacked brick, all the exterior hard veneer surfaces didn't fill in what they needed to. This again is protecting your home from water and protecting you from maintenance issues that come up before their time. All right, next, oh boy, another biggie. All right, this one, we're gonna see a few from this. This house and some of the other ones in here are from an infill lot in Denver. So this is not from a production builder where many of you are buying from, D.R. Horton, Shea, Toll. That is not this house. This is from someone who scraped a lot in Denver. They took down a small little bungalow and decided to build a duplex, really tall, 3 stories, very modern. These sell for $1.5 million. I mean, these are high dollar properties. You're gonna see a small number of the things that were found wrong with this property. So here we have stucco siding in contact with the ground in multiple areas. Even with the production builders, don't put your hardy board siding in contact with the ground. We definitely don't want stucco in contact with the ground. Okay, next up, we are looking at negative drainage, negative grading. What this means is not negative in the correct direction, it's negative toward the home, an absolute no-no. And every builder knows this, yet we still have some who don't get it right. These yards are supposed to be graded multiple times, evaluated multiple times, and they are responsible for delivering a home to you that has all the water draining away from the foundation and into the drainage swales, however that be, whether it needs to go backward and toward the neighbor behind you or open space behind you, or toward the swales, the divots, the drainage areas around your home and head toward the street. But we see multiple times where the builder has not gotten that right as we are getting the home delivered. So it's not like we are calling out negative drainage and drainage issues back at the pre-drywall phase. We are talking about certificate of occupancy, turning the money over, taking possession of the house, and the drainage isn't right. For this particular one here, we called it out to the builder. They argued about it. This client pushed and pushed and pushed. The inspector tried to help. The builder would not address it. This client and neighbors ended up with some flooding issues in the crawl space. And then the builder stepped in because they were very worried about the rumblings among the neighbors for a larger lawsuit. So despite all the work and effort that went into it and people choosing to close before it was fixed, we don't like that. We don't recommend it. But there's a lot of pressure that people feel to get into the house before things are done, and it doesn't always turn out good. All right, another one. We have got roofing. You aren't getting up on the roof. Your super generally doesn't get on the roof, so the inspector does that job for you. There are many times we see roofs are not complete, not accurate. And then I will tell you this every single time. If we have roof issues in an inspection, we want photographic proof that it was done and done correctly. Because when you have the inspector come back, let's say you hire them to come and check the roof again, many times we will still have issues. So these supers are not monitoring their trades. They're not asking for proof from the trade. Sometimes nothing will be done or there will be additional issues. So we need to have the roofs monitored for sure during this process. All right, on to the next one. Another roof. So we should not have anything inverted on the roof that's going to hold water, but this will happen too if you're getting a new roof on an existing home. Sometimes they're using materials that are old, materials that are damaged, and they don't care. They just put it on anyway. So another reason we have an inspection. Next, another roof one. So here we're looking at a split air system sitting on a rooftop. This is in the infill in Denver. They're calling out damage to the rooftop and that the substrate is soft. So we have some serious roof concerns here. Again, you're not going to go up on the roof. You aren't going to know. All right, on to gutter incomplete. Sometimes we don't see these small details. Sometimes we do, but this house is going to move right on without them finishing up the gutter system. Okay, next one. Here we are in a production home that was built with a kind of structural floor. That means the ground underneath was going to move a lot. So the builder did a structural slab to keep the home integrity long term. That's really great. We love to see that. When the inspectors came in, they're opening up the hatches down into this structural floor crawl space area. On this one, they found some microbial growth or mold on the OSB, the plywood here. They called it out. They asked the builder to address it. The builder kind of argued about it. It eventually got done. No one wants to have any mold anywhere in their brand new home. Something else that most of us would not have been opening up hatches, going down underneath. We kind of just talk about the visual stuff, right? Is the tile flush? Are there any cracks in the drywall? This is something that some people might have noticed, but others wouldn't. And again, because the builder pushed back, depending on how much confidence you have, some people will let it go. So having the backing of a trained third party really helps get things done the way you wish and want. Okay, we are on to concrete. Builders hate to touch concrete once it's poured. They will tell you they don't really cover concrete work unless it has separated at minimum the thickness of a quarter and it has displaced a certain distance. Everybody has a little bit different parameter. Essentially, they'll make you these promises that concrete will crack that concrete is gray and that no one wants to steal it. I mean, they kind of make a joke out of it. And I roll with that too, because we are in Colorado, and with our soils that expand and contract and our weather and how things are dynamic, even from year to year, not just from season to season, there is so much truth to that. But here we are with a brand new home, and we have concrete that is maybe weeks old even, and it is cracking like we see here in this image. The builder needs to address it, because it is only going to get worse as we go through the seasons and the cycles of the year, much less the seasons years ahead. Now, we did get the builder to handle this, because there's just no way that when you have the corner cracking under a support pillar for a deck, that they could claim that this was going to be okay. But the client didn't see this. It took the inspector to point this out, because your mind and your eyes are in so many different places. Okay, next. Fireplaces that don't work. This has come up so many times in my inspections, and typically the builder should be walking you through the house, turning on the fireplace, showing you that it works, letting the interior gases burn off, the haze that comes up on the fireplace glass, because you don't want to, as a new homeowner, come in, turn on the fireplace, check it, and turn it off. It can leave that rainbow effect on the glass, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and you have a fireplace that doesn't work. And if you move in the summer, you're months and months in before you have any idea. This one is one a lot of people have no idea about, and only the inspector is going to tell you. It's testing your water pressure. For this one, I believe we were low, but the water pressure can also be high. High water pressure is way more dangerous to the house, especially now that most builders are using the plastic water lines. The higher the water pressure, the more risk there is to there being a blowout in the line and major water leaks throughout the house. We see this a lot more on existing home inspections. We don't know if it's just water pressure changing over time, or someone deciding that they think upping the water pressure is going to help at the shower head. That's not really how it works, because we have shower heads that mitigate water pressure, right? We have the water saving devices here in Colorado. You have to handle that another way, and YouTube can help you. But all it does is put a lot of strain on the piping. And my inspectors can tell horror stories of 6-figure water damage in homes because of that. So low is okay, but you will end up sensing it throughout the house. We want it in the right window. All right, on we go. Missing Studer vents, missing vent caps, things that are going to leave the house smelly. That is not helpful. Small details on windows. So sometimes a small crack might be missed. A lot of times we'll see those, but this is one not at all, where we've got a very fine detail, the seal is broken. Inspectors are great for this kind of stuff. My clients did terminate on this infill house. Lots of interesting stuff and stories I could tell you that we'll save and not do in this video. But with the workmanship challenges all through this house and the way the market was at the time, my clients had hard earnest money down, meaning it was not refundable to them. And when we got this inspection report back, which is way, way more than you see here, we were able to leverage this to say, you need to give us the earnest money back, or something worse is going to happen, meaning small claims court, something else, because this house is dysfunctional. And my clients were able to get their earnest money back based on the inspection. If they had just been trotting in there themselves and saying, we don't like this, we don't like this, we don't like this, so forget it, we want our earnest money back, there is no way that was going to happen. Always having that trained third party on your side, I say hands down, is a must. Okay, safety concern on this one, having no main breaker at the panel. We are in a new construction home, and it's considered standard practice that they'll have a switch that shuts off the power to the whole house on the breaker. And here we are, this builder didn't do it. All right. Oh, I did not bunch them up, but here's another one where we have negative grade at the house. So we've got water pouring toward the foundation, not draining away. This is so damaging to the entire structure because of the clay soils we have here. You've got water pooling around the foundation, swelling, drying. It moves the foundation, it soaks into the concrete, and that is just the death knell to the longevity of a home. All right, we're looking at a toilet. How fun, right? However, we're in a new home and the toilet's loose. It wasn't set correctly, or the wax ring has been broken. It could be that a trade came in with all sorts of equipment and just banged up against it. However, you are usually not coming in and wiggling toilets as you go around to the house. The inspector will do that for you. On this one, we're looking at a tub that didn't drain well. So The builders don't want to go in and deal with snaking pipes, figuring out what the cause is, worrying that the cause is something bigger that's going to cost them money. But I want your drains tested. I want everything flowing well. We're going to talk about pipes and plumbing here again in just a minute. Okay, again, the infill house. But this happens in other homes. I have been in a production home where we have had have them come through and float walls, re-skim, re-trim because they are off. This one's off by a 1/4 inch, just one window as an example. But high-end builders, I have been like, guys, that wall is smiling. It is curving this way. What is going on? Those windows, they are not square, and the 3 of them are a feature over the stairwell. I mean, so it is not uncommon where we see the trim work to not be done well. All right, what do we have next? I did all this for you and I'm still surprised. Even when I look at it again, I'm still blown away sometimes. Okay, uneven floors. You know, if the house was built well, the floors should be even. There really shouldn't be much going on. This house had uneven floors. Here we have active condensate in a new HVAC system. Something is going on that has to be addressed. You do not have the opportunity to come into your new build home and start taking off panels and looking inside. You can ask the builder to, but do you always know what you're looking for? So again, love that we have an inspector doing this for you. All right, we have an extension of an original foundation pour, meaning a cold joint on top of the original foundation to try to get things just right, meaning the builder didn't get it right the first time. Note, this is not a production home. We are not looking at a D.R. Horton house. We are not looking at a Lennar house. We're not looking at a Toller or Shea house. So if you're going to go with a private builder, somebody who builds a handful of homes a year, please don't do it without an inspector, please. So many challenges could be in front of you. You also may have a great experience, but the guys who do this hundreds of homes a year and they're training their trades and their supers know what they're looking for and even their vendors know how to do it right. I have way fewer concerns with the integrity of your home. You may have things that annoy you. This home wouldn't even deem it safe. Again, the builder ended up in some trouble. Same thing, more pictures, cold joints, extension of a foundation. This house, we have a foundation with cracks in it. This is a production builder. It is not in the Denver metro, it is south of here. These folks got a little feisty on their backfill, filled too early, didn't let the foundation cure, and cracked the foundation. If my people had not had an inspector coming in, I don't know that they would have been told about this. The inspector is who notified my clients. The builder did not. The builder did not tell the client, here's our plan of action, here's what we found, here's what happened, here's how we plan to address it, here's the structural engineer we're calling in. Nothing. And this was far enough away that I'm not getting down there regularly to be taking the photos and looking at this. And so it's the fact that we have the inspector in when we do, before the blanket insulation goes up, that we discover this. And that instigated a cascade of information and people and problem solving to address this. Okay, so you can see we start out with paint and we move to cracked foundations. There is a lot. We're at the last slide. This is 2 examples of sewer lines that are not how they should have been. Sewer lines with bellies, sewer lines with blocks, all sorts of things that go on with sewer lines. This needs to be addressed, needs to be fixed by the builder before you close. I've seen sewer line backups. I've seen builders say it's no big deal, we can just do it when you move in. They are usually jacking up and hammering out concrete in a basement, making the house a mess, and here you're wanting a clean house, no dust, no debris, bring in new furniture, new design elements. They need to re-clean the duct system. They're gonna have guys traipsing in and out. The house should be ready, done, and clean for you, and you shouldn't be putting down all your money when they have this major project and fix that needs to happen. The challenge is there's at least one party, one buyer, that usually has all these things lined up or all these plans and just wants to get to closing. But once you hand the builder your money, things slow down. They put the trades on other projects. And especially if we're at the end of a quarter, the end of a mark, a time they need to hit, they are much more inclined to get your project done than once they have your money and they know they can wait 3 weeks to get the guys in. Okay, that was my short list of things that we have found on home inspections in new construction homes. I hope it has been incredibly convincing as to why you should pay the roughly $1,000 to get your new construction home inspected 2 times during the process. If I can help you, support you on the new construction journey, please reach out. I would love to connect, and I will see y'all next week.